Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to work on a tutorial and I'm going to show you how to make these shorts. There's 3 different styles. This one I call the curvier short. This one is a capri length. And this one is a straighter short, about the same length as this pair. So for today's purposes, I'm going to be making 1 pair of the capri shorts and 1 pair of the straighter medium length shorts because I have 2 dolls that I want to put those on. So I'm going to share those with you today. What you're going to want to do is take your pattern, which I've chosen to use the capri shorts on this pair because I like the cuff better, and I'm going to keep the cuff because it's easier, plus it's a little extra detail that looks really cute. I just, especially with these, because I don't have like good pins right now. All of my stuff that's good for crafting is in storage. But anyway, I would normally put a pin here and a pin here just to keep it straight from wobbling around. But for today, I'm just gonna lay it on there, and I want to avoid this little thick chunk here where the jeans are sewn together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay it next to that so I don't end up with that seam. And I line it up at the bottom. And I just cut around it. You cut 2, obviously. So I just take my really sharp scissors and I cut around. It's hard to get it started with that cuff at the bottom, but once you do it, it goes pretty easy. And just cut around like this. And I do it this way without cutting off side while I'm holding it, so that I can cut this while I'm holding it like this, so that I don't need the pins as much. If you're a novice sewer, you might want to get pins, but I've been sewing for a really long time, so that's the little piece you don't want with the extra where it's been sewn. So you got 2. You're going to want to cut your little curve out here. So that it actually ends up being 2 legs. See? 2 pieces. Now, because I only want darts on the front, I didn't cut this. I just left it on my pattern to remind me. So what I do is, since you can't do it that way, you can't cut both, I take it like this, and I know it goes down to about here is what fits, because I've tested it. So I take my finger, and I pinch it there, I go like that, and then I cut it. Sorry if you couldn't see that. I'll do it again on the other one. So then you have your little dart in the front. Okay. Here's the other one. I'm gonna do the same thing, but since I already cut it on this one, all I have to do is lay it over top so that they'll match. And you just fold it like that. And you just cut it off so that they match, so that they're the same length. Because everything in sewing isn't exactly perfect, even though it might look that way or people want you to think it is. There's always something that doesn't match up. So there you have your 2 little pieces with the dart. What you're going to want to do next is thread your needle. I've pre-done that, so you don't have to watch me do that. You want to make sure you put a good knot in the end. And I always start out with, since I've already got the cuff here completed. I always start out with the darts. And fold it over on itself. And the way I start is I go in this way, underneath where the end of the dart is. And then I come through again on the same exact place. And I loop it through this hole once, twice, and that makes my knot. And then I just back stitch because I want it to be strong. So I come down here. I make my stitches smaller when I'm sewing doll clothes, of course. I used a longer piece of thread than I normally would, just so that I wouldn't have to rethread it doing this tutorial. You go in, what I do is I come back, see where my stitch came out, I go back behind that, and then I come out in front of it. And that's a better, called a back stitch, it's a better locking stitch. So that if you want to, because these are going to be pulled on a lot, pulling them on and off, so you want that your stitches to be strong. So I just continue back stitching. All the way up, and I'm doing this slow so that you can see it. I sew much faster normally, but I want to be able to show you what I'm doing. So I'm trying to take it slow. Back in before and out after my last stitch. Back in and then out before my last stitch. In and then out the top. And what I do on the top to make sure that that stitch stays is the same thing as I did at the bottom. I go in straight and I go under the loop twice to lock my stitch. And I also go back through and do another whip stitch, sometimes two. And then I'll go out through the top. Way I know it's good and secure. And then I just cut it off. I always make a new knot before I finish, because then that way it's always knotted. It's just how I do it. And then you have your little dart sewn. And you're going to want to do that on both sides to sew your dart. I've sewn the other one off camera just so you don't have to watch me do both. What you're going to want to do next is take them and put them together like this. This is just how I do it because it's simpler for me. Everybody does things differently, so I just wanted to show you how I do it. And like I said, I've been sewing for a really long time, so it's just, these are the tips that I use or what works for me. But if it's something that you're like, why did she do it that way? You can always do it a different way. You're free to do it any way you want. I'm just showing you how I do it. You're going to want to sew around your little loop. So you line it up, good side to good side. And I do the same thing when I come in here at the top to lock my stitch. I do a whip stitch, and then I go through the hole, and that makes a knot. And then you can start sewing. And I use the same stitch, a back stitch, because it's kind of like sewing on a sewing machine with your hand. It just works better and it stays, it lasts longer. The stitches are better than a running stitch if you're going to use stretch material and you're going to take them on and off of your doll a lot, if you plan on using them more than just for decoration or whatever have you. If you're going to do a little bit more, if you plan on switching your outfits or whatever. And I'm just going to continue sewing along this all the way around to the top, and when I'm done I'll let you see. Now that this has been completed, I've sewn all the way around. What you're going to want to do is hem your tops. This is how I do it. I just fold it down maybe like 1/4 of an inch. I'm not exactly sure how thick that is, but that's basically about how I turn them under. And you're gonna want to do both sides. And I come in from the back so that the knot is hidden. And then I come back through the other side. And I lock my stitch underneath so it can't be seen. I pick up a little bit here of the fabric, not all of it, and then go through this piece and then make my knot. So that when I sew it, it's nice and secure. And then I just do a running stitch, an out weave stitch. Small, I do real small stitches. Let's see, about that size. And I just hold my finger there and it comes back out. That's how I know how long they end up being. And I'm going to finish sewing both sides and then I'll let you see how it looks. I've stitched the back and front, their little seam allowance. Now this is going to look weird because they look like, oh wait, they're already together. So you're thinking in your head, how is she going to fix that? It's real simple. Just take them like this, flip them to where the top of both sides is like this. And then all you're going to want to do is line it up and sew straight down both sides. And I'm going to start that. Here's my needle. I've already knotted it from the last thing I did. I give a little bit of a generous seam allowance as far as this is concerned because I know it's going to be stretched a lot, so I come in a little extra for the dolls. And I come across the top, and what I do here is I weave back and forth straight stitches a couple times because I know that this is going to be a place where it gets pulled on a lot, so I want it to be really secure, so I go back and forth 4 or 5 times when I'm doing this part at the top to make sure it gets nice and stitched well. Just go back and forth. And then I just come back in after that and I start doing my straight line stitching down the side. I do a back stitch on these as well. The only thing that I straight stitch completely is the little tops here because I know those don't need as much stability, so a straight stitch is fine. You can also sew a straight stitch if you can't figure out how to do a back stitch. It's very simple. Like I said, you just go in. How I do it is a little different. I go in behind, sort of in the middle of the last one, and come out before, so there's space. And then I always go back and and then come out. So essentially it's like how a sewing machine locks your stitch, but you're doing it by hand because this is so small. I've tried to sew things small like this on the sewing machine and you can do it. There's no problem with it, but it takes a tiny bit longer to do it by hand, but it just turns out better. So I'm going to finish sewing up both the sides and let you see how it looks when it's done. And now that both sides have been sewn up, all you want to do is turn them inside out. There we go. And there's your little shorts. They have a little bit of a rub there because they were actual jeans. So they do have some character, but I think they're adorable. And they fit so many different doll types. I don't have a curvy body yet to try them on, but I'll show you how many different doll types you can put them on. I just wanted to show you that these shorts, once you've made them, will fit a variety of different body styles and types of Barbies and Disney dolls and fashionistas. They won't fit Monster High, however. They're very, very small, so they won't fit those or Bratz. But these shorts will fit a variety of different Barbie types, and I just wanted to show you that it's one pattern and it fits multiples. As you can see, this is a completely different body mold. This is a Model Muse body. And these Capri shorts fit her just like they fit this girl. And so you can see, I took them off of her. So these are the same shorts. And they fit her body just as well as they fit hers. And this is a fashionista, one of the more budget kind. And again, these are the same exact shorts and they fit her. I made the top. It's something custom I'm working on. I'm not done. I don't have any fasteners for the back yet, but I'll let you see when I'm finished. But again, just to show you, it's not movie magic. Same shorts. Okay, for this greater pair of there's this rub here, and I don't want that on the legs of the pants right now that I'm making, so I folded it differently, and I'm gonna lay it here and leave this for something else and cut it from here. So same thing as the other. Okay, I've stitched both darts on this pair, and I've hemmed both of the legs so far. Now I'm going to put them together like this and sew around the J shape. I'm sewing around the J shape now. Next, I'm going to turn these down and hem the tops, both sides. Now I've hemmed the top and the back. All I have to do is turn it so that I can sew the sides. And I know it looks crazy because it looks to your brain like it's wrong, but it's right. You just have to do that. See? And then you line up the sides and stitch down. Something small that you should do after you sew the J shape or anything that's round, like underneath an arm, should take little tiny cuts, very small, and don't go through your stitching. That'll help things lay flatter. They'll look more professional. That way when you turn it, it lays flat and it doesn't pull or pinch at the crotch area. Now they're all sewn. All you gotta do is turn them inside out. These ones are a little tighter at the top than the other ones, the way they're made. It looks like a little pants ball right now. Trust me, they'll turn. They're just small, so it takes a second. There we go. Now I just gotta push the legs through. See? All fixed. Shorts. I'm gonna show you what they look like on. And here are the completed shorts. As you can see, they fit very well with no closure. I love that you don't have to have a closure. You just slip them on. And I took the shorts that were off of this one to begin with and put them on another doll. And I'm gonna go over there and show you all the dolls that they can fit like I did the other one. This pair here on this girl I made today. This was the pair that I already had. This was the pair of smaller shorts, not capri shorts, that I made today. She was originally wearing these, but I wanted you to know that these shorts can fit a variety of different body styles, just like these shorts that I already showed. And these are all different kinds of, this is a Mattel Disney doll. This is a, 90s Barbie with the different body shape. This is a Model Muse body in the middle. And this is, of course, my scene. And this is a Disney Store doll. And they all fit all of the dolls. So I think that is great. And I absolutely love that they don't have a closure in the back. That they just fit and you just slide them on. No closure. They're probably all gonna fall now because I touched them. But these are the girls. These are the shorts. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something or that I was helpful somehow, because I really do enjoy this, and I enjoy making doll clothes is one of my favorite things. So I was able to make all of these shorts with just these few supplies: a needle, thread, scissors, and patterns that I made. I just put them on computer paper, and 2 pairs of thrift store jeans that I got for 99 cents each. I did wash them, in case anybody was wondering. I always wash everything I get from the thrift store. So these are my girls. And those are the shorts I made today. I hope the tutorial was helpful. If not, if there are things I can do better, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm human, but please be kind. I hope you thought this tutorial was helpful. I had a good time making it, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day. See you soon.